it makes
Yeah,
sense.
because sometimes I'm saying, look, you buy a can of bop, and instead of killing the mosquito, the bop is killing you.
But you should note that you are only dealing with the adults when you spray.
Oh.
So the eggs are still there,
Uh-huh.
and then you get a new batch of adult mosquitoes right after you spray, like a few hours.
So you're saying that some of these insecticides are not that effective.
Also,
in addition,
it just highlights the importance of source reduction,
Source
meaning
reduction.
eliminating the source where the eggs are. So yes, you can kill the adult mosquitoes, but after you've done that, a new batch of eggs hatch, and you have a fresh batch of adult mosquitoes. So source reduction is very important.
the chemical you're spraying, but you're killing those that are flying.
Right.
You're not dealing with those in the water, which may emerge.
Yes. So you're not looking at the root cause of the
Precisely.
problem.
So source reduction is the
And then
root
you
cause
end
of
up-
the problem.
And then you end up buying another kind of bop.
Sure. And what about these mosquito coils? Are they healthy to use? We used to call them cobra.
Yeah, I think that they don't kill the mosquito. I think
Chase
what
them
they
away.
they
They
chase
just
them away.
chase them away.
Yeah.
They just chase them
that's
away.
what
And
they meant to-
aggravate your sinuses in the process.
And it aggravates your sinuses in the process. Okay, good. Now we're having a very healthy discussion here. Can we have a healthy discussion about Zika? Zika is unhealthy. But we are going to go to the phone lines and we are going to listen to the people. I'm sure there are many people who are concerned about the Zika virus and who would like to ask a question of the health officials that we have today in studio. So we are going to go to the phone lines. You can take your headphones. I don't know how we're going to get them over there. Okay, we are going to open the lines, and the numbers to call are the international number, if you're overseas, is 1-718-577-2916. That is 1-718-577-2916. And the local number is 465-2555. 465-2555. We welcome your calls. Working for you, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, sir.
And the amount of warfarin you got Indian doctors. Alex, this is your family, you know. Glad you're in there. No. Hello.
Good afternoon, culture.
Right, my family. Now, I'm glad you all in there, you know. Timely topic. What happened here now is that we banging flag, we banging house when the flag drop. And the reason why I would say that, because over 2 years, I've been calling on the sanitary inspectors to come and clean up some vehicle that is parked and abandoned in the government drain where the water is running. And because they are there parked, the people who clean in the drain cannot get to clean the drain properly. And see now the Zika mosquito come, they still park up in the government drain and the water settling there. So when we keep the house clean, how are we going to kill the mosquitoes when these old cars and old things park up in the drain? So I would like to know when the sanitary inspectors going to come and make the owner for them old vehicle move them out of the government drain. That's my question. I'll listen after here.
We have another call. Working for you, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mr. Riley? Yeah.
Okay, to respond to my family and friend, Mr. Culture, I know previously you have called in on the other issues with when it comes to the sanitary officers, and like we had explained before, sometimes in dealing with certain things we have to go through a process, and the process might take a bit. So even though Mr. Culture might be seeing the vehicles there still, I can guarantee you that once the officer would have visited the area, they would have taken the necessary steps to ensure that they remove them. Now, what we have to understand also is that we are not an agency with the equipment to do all the works that we would have to do. So sometimes we have to rely on other agencies to assist us, and when we do get the assistance, sometimes it lates. But I can assure you, Mr. Culture, that we
Mr.
will
Riley, we have a call. Working for you, good afternoon.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir, and to everybody who there.
Good afternoon.
Now, I'm live at Lower Avenue, right here by the water pipe. You have a landing there, have a two palm tree growing up, and a lot of mosquito underneath the car. This guy come every day, throw water under the landing. I tired to go down the health center, we speak about it. I send my wife, we talk about it. Even the guy who clean the drain tell me speak to Mr. Riley about it. I would like somebody to come and check it, because right now one of my neighbor in the hospital with the same problem. And this place need to check out, because almond tree growing out, passing out under the landing and going out. I don't know about this thing with it. There's like a swamp. You bring mass from down the bay, you just dump them on the landing and dump a lot of water on it. I right here now watching the area right now, and we like Mr. Riley to come and check, because we try to speak to them about it. When I have a problem here, I get my problem solved every minute they come and they talk to me. So, have a good day.
Okay, caller, thank you.
Thanks.
Working for you, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Could you turn your radio off or turn it down, please? Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you have pond splash up by the school. You have a pond. You say something by the school. Can you please, I recommend this for me, please? You have a mosquito, and you have a rat, cockroach, kind of things.
Okay, if we notice, most of the questions pertain to the environment, and therefore there has to be greater environmental awareness, I think, in terms of how the environment can either contribute or prevent diseases. Mr. Riley?
Yes, okay, most of the complaints are, well, I don't know about the pond at Pond's Pasture by the school, but we will look into that and see how best we could deal with it. The one at Shah Avenue where the gentleman says palm tree is growing on the land, and we'll also look into that. I will not look for any way out. We are responsible for ensuring that we keep people abreast in ensuring that we have a healthy environment. So it simply means that if we're not doing enough, then we need to do more. And doing more, if doing more means taking the bull by the horn and doing what we have to do to ensure that we get people to understand that our environment is important in times like these especially. So we might have dropped the ball with some situations, and we'll take the blame for that, but I definitely sure will have to ensure that we step up on our area of concerns when people do make complaints and ensure that we deal with them properly. I can't say much other than I trust and hope that even though we do what we have to do, we do get the assistance of people still in terms of making sure that the environment stays the way it's supposed to be to prevent diseases.
And I'm really
Doctor.
thankful for this forum whereby we can speak about Zika and educate the public about the mosquito, the mosquito's pattern in terms of laying eggs, and the importance of us searching our homes, immediate environment for the potential breeding sites for the mosquito. And I think the discussion that we are having is generating the effect that we really want in the general public, and this is evidenced by the callers so far. So I'm really thankful for your inviting us to your program this afternoon.
Sure. Okay, now while we talk about the environment and environmental awareness and so on, we must bear in mind that it's not just about mosquitoes. It's about cockroaches. It's about rodents. It's about all those things, those that create problems in terms of our health, human health. And so therefore the environmental officers, you claim that you have not been doing enough.
Yes, we have.
So therefore you need to be doing more to develop this awareness. Now, what plans do you have in terms of an environmental awareness program, especially given the, you know, in the face of Zika? Do you have a program?
Yes, we do. Work that officers do is routine house-to-house, premises-to-premises inspection. In their district, officers are assigned to a district, right? And the next thing, they do school visits, school talks. They record the condition of the schools. Currently, officers are scheduling visits to schools, churches, and other community groups, both governmental and non-governmental, to spread, to evangelize about getting up to speed in terms of keep maintaining sanitary conditions in our country, not just for Zika, but, you know, as you said, for rodents and other things. This morning I did a lecture for food safety towards the food handlers permit, and one of the things I point out to the food handlers all the time is that there are certain things which show up. We as environmental health officers, we are charged with also investigating instances of certain communicable diseases, or most communicable diseases anyway. You get foodborne illness, we have to go and do an investigation. And we see such illnesses like leptospirosis.
Yes.
And leptospirosis is something which generally is associated with rats and mice or cockroaches in our environment.
Yes.
And almost every time we see a case of leptospirosis, we see three things. 1, rat or mice. 2, a person. 3, food. And oftentimes rat or mice go bite something. In fact, most times, anytime a rat or mice goes and bites, say, a bag of flour,
Yes.
it number 1s and number 2s right there after they finish eating. And rats, mice, cockroaches, flies, and other pests, they come around generally when there's something attracting them. And the attractant usually is some unsanitary matter or condition around. And when we go and investigate cases of leptospirosis, it's almost always somebody ate some food that a rat or mouse got to. And so it's a holistic approach that the officers take. It's about source reduction in terms of mosquitoes. Overall, for everything, it's education, talks, visits at schools, churches, community groups, and other places. I myself have given presentations for the year to several groups in government and outside. Officers as well, vector control officers. We have officers who are vector controls, focus specifically on mosquitoes, rats, and so on. And they themselves have given talks. But I think what has happened is that with the confirmation that there's Zika in the country, there's a heightened awareness about mosquitoes and sanitary conditions and environmental health officers and so on. And so perhaps some of the persons who I spoke to didn't remember whatever I said, but now they're looking forward to either hearing it again or hearing if they didn't hear at all, or if I didn't get to them.
Sure. Sure, Dr. Walton.
Yes, I just wanted to add to Mr. Lake in that the approach that we use in public health and in various departments is a program-based approach. And so we have different programs. And as he mentioned, environmental health is not just vector control, but there's food safety, water quality. And under these programs, you have different activities, different strategies to carry them out. And so, like he said, it's on a regular basis, it's routine. But then sometimes you have an outbreak, sometimes you have a situation where you have to make people more aware or remind them of what they should be doing on a regular basis. And that where comes some awareness programs, some outreach, some other extra activities apart from the norm to, you know, get people back on track as to what they should be doing. And that's one area. So vector control is an annual routine event. But now that we have Zika, now more people are asking questions. It is an opportunity for us to use these opportunities to get people, you know, more aware of what we're doing and what they need to do.
One of the things we do which most people don't know, we have a portal program as well. And at the port, for instance, we have adult mosquito traps stationed there, and we collect adult mosquitoes and we take them to Ross, and Ross would analyze their DNA to look for signs of Zika or dengue in the adult mosquitoes. We do OV trapping there to collect eggs from ADs. We also have officers who would go to the aircraft and the sea vessels to look at the passenger manifest to see where they're coming from. If they're coming from areas where we have something like yellow fever or certain other communicable diseases, so that we would monitor those passengers. We do, well, that's essentially it with portal, but we do that. And it happens behind the scenes. If you're going, when you're going to lay out, you see the flight attendant spraying the aircraft, for instance. That's one of the things. And our portal officers would collect the canister from the aircraft as evidence that they did disinfect the aircraft. I don't know if Mr. Wiley want to add anything to that.
Well, basically, just to say is that we just ensure that whatever comes in at the port is safe enough for our population, because it's not just for vector-borne diseases also, because we also do food inspections at the ports. So basically,
right.
Yeah, so it's other things happening, but they just might not be as visible as you think.
Yes. Now, sometimes I wonder if these mosquitoes come together and, you know, said, well, look, we are going to really decide that, you know, right now, it is Zika time, or it is chikungunya time, or it is dengue fever time. Because now all we're hearing about now is Zika. And at another point in time, we were hearing about chikungunya. Why it is we're not hearing about all of them at the same time? You said that these mosquitoes are very intelligent. I don't know if there's some explanation for it. I really don't know. Because at one time you're hearing about chikungunya. You understand what I'm trying to say, Dr. Laws?
Yes. In 2014, when chikungunya got here, you hardly had anybody exposed to the virus, so there wasn't any immunity against chikungunya.
Yes.
And so that's why it came, and the outbreak was significant. And the same thing with Zika virus. Zika virus is coming to St. Kitts for the first time. The population, there's no immunity, and so we are going to see a rise in cases of Zika until we start to control the infection. And so at the end of the day, we need to realize that a reduction, because I suppose it's impossible to eliminate the Aedes aegypti mosquito, but a reduction in the number of mosquitoes in the population means that we would have controlled the local outbreak of Zika. And I think that should be our focus right now. We should come together as individuals, families, communities, and nationally in terms of eliminating the breeding sites in an effort to reduce the number of Aedes aegypti mosquitoes.